Magomedov grew up in Dagestan.
There it is.
To Germany, and he gets to work early. Lovely stuff. Wow. What a way to announce yourself to the UFC audience.
Headlining at the Apex this weekend is Abus Magomedov. The Dagestan-born, Germany-tuned fighter might have only appeared once for the UFC, but such is his skill set and resume, the UFC have boosted him to a poster spot alongside Sean Strickland. A 30-fight pro with big fight experience, Magomedov is a daunting prospect for anyone at 185 pounds. Administrative issues have stopped us from seeing him more frequently in the octagon, but with that behind him, he's motivated to race to the belt. I was actually on the call for Magomedov's UFC debut and it was pretty faultless. But facing off with Strickland is another level entirely. 5 rounds on the clock, trash talking, and that's not to diminish an elite skill set that has had the brash American within touching distance of a title shot. I actually visited Magomedov in Dusseldorf where he trains and I was super impressed with what I witnessed. He works in the room with UFC veteran David Zavada and Gleison Tibau while sharpening his skills under Ivan Hippolyte. Magomedov grew up wrestling and still enjoys wrestling competitions to the day. The family man is as friendly as they come until fight nights and then an experienced veteran mind takes over. This is a fascinating matchup that I urge you to tune into as we might just be watching the kind of fresh new challenger that Adesanya is searching for.
Tap out, finished. Ivana Petrovic maintains her status as the champion in the flyweight division for the ladies.
This weekend, Europe will add another fighter to the UFC roster. Born and raised in Mostar, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Ivana Petrovic, who also represents Norway, will make her UFC debut. Bringing a perfect 6-0 record and a solid amateur career, Petrovic will turn her attention to the best at 125 pounds. Around 10 months ago, she became the very first female Ares champion and since then defended her crown before being picked up by the Big Show. Coached by her husband, she brings a well-rounded MMA game out of a tricky southpaw stance. She has good takedowns, very damaging ground and pound, and an ability to finish fights by choke. She might only have short time as a pro, but Petrovic is super dedicated. Her commute to Frontline Muay Thai is a 2-hour drive, which sometimes means she has to sleep in her manager's office to recover a little better. Frontline is a gym we're going to hear more from in the future, plus she also visits the famed All Stars gym in neighbouring Sweden to upskill. She predicted she'd fight in the UFC this year but thought it might be later in the year, but she gets her first assignment against Luana Carolina, who hasn't fared well against European opposition in her last 2 outings. That said, she has made the walk to the octagon 5 times and showed real heart to return to London after a nightmare outing at the hands of Molly McCann. I can see Petrovic showing a bit of everything in this fight, but the tape would suggest her strike to submit approach that has yet to fail her will be tuned up to the max. You can catch all the Fight Night prelims right here on UFC Fight Pass. There is plenty of European interest this week, so don't be late.